धन्यवाद। अब मैं विनम्र आग्रह करती हूँ प्रज्ञा प्रवाह के सामान्य राष्ट्रीय संयोजक श्री जे नंदकुमार जी से कि वे कृपया स्वागत भाषण प्रदान करें।
मंच पर आसीन लोकमंथन कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति परमादरणीय श्री जगदीश धनखड जी, मंच पर गरिमामयी उपस्थिति के साथ विराजमान असम व नागालैंड के माननीय राज्यपाल प्रोफेसर जगदीश मुखी जी, मंच पर उपस्थित माननीय मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर हिमंत विश्व शर्मा जी, सभागार में उपस्थित बहुत ज्यादा गणमान्य लोग हैं। राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ के माननीय सरकार्यवाह जी दत्तात्रेय होसबोले, सह सरकार्यवाह माननीय मनमोहन वैद्य जी सहित और विविध क्षेत्र के संगठनों के प्रतिनिधि व कार्यकर्ता, भारत के समस्त प्रांतों से आए हुए राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि की भावना से ओतप्रोत विचारक, कर्मशील, प्रतिभागी, प्रतिनिधि व कलाकारों का इस लोक मंच पर हृदय से स्वागत व अभिनंदन करता हूं। लोक को अपने आंचल में जीवंत रखने वाली मां कामाख्या को हम सब दीप के रूप में अर्पित होने आए, जो उनके द्वारा प्रदत्त लोक संस्कृति का संवर्धन करेंगे। अपने विचार रखने से पहले असम के सुपुत्र भारत रत्न श्री भूपेन हजारिका जी द्वारा रचित असम का एक प्रकार से एंथम को मैं याद करना चाहता हूं, जहां वे बोलते हैं, ओ मोर अपनोर देश, ओ मोर सिकुनी देश, इनखोन जुओला, इनखोन सुफला, इनखोन मोर मोर देश, which means, oh my enduring country, oh my speckless country, so euphorious, so bounteous, so near and dear a country। आसाम के संस्कृति संबंधित लिखे हुए ये गीत सही में पूरे भारत के लिए ही भी लागू है। वंदे मातरम जैसा भारत मातरम ही है ये गीत। अरुणोदय के इस पावन धरा पर आयोजित विराट वैचारिक यज्ञ लोकमंथन की प्रतिनिधि के रूप में स्वयं को सौभाग्यशाली समझता हूं कि सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों और आगंतुक विद्युत जन के स्वागत और अभिनंदन का सुअवसर मुझे प्राप्त हुआ है। आपके भीतर विद्यमान लोक प्रणम्य है। आसाम की इस उषा भूमि का वंदन करते हुए आप सभी में विद्यमान आत्म चैतन्य को मैं नमन करता हूं। हमारा परम सौभाग्य है कि लोकप्रिय और जन जन में उन्नयन हेतु चैतन्य का संचार करने वाले लोकमंथन में हमें महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड महोदय का मुख्य आतिथ्य, पावन सानिध्य और आशीर्वाद प्राप्त हुआ है। हम हृदय से आपके प्रति कृतज्ञ है कि अति व्यस्त होते हुए भी उदार मना होकर आपने हमारा आमंत्रण स्वीकार कर हमें गौरवान्वित किया है। हम आपका आत्मिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन और वंदन करते हैं। आपके उत्कृष्ट मार्गदर्शन में हम समर्पित कर्म निष्ठा से कार्य करते रहेंगे, ऐसा विश्वास दिलाते हैं और पूर्ण विश्वास है कि हमारे प्रति आपका स्नेहमय इसी प्रकार भविष्य में भी अमृत वर्षा करता रहेगा। अत्यंत हर्ष का विषय है कि कार्यक्रम में अति विशिष्ट अतिथि के रूप में हमारा मानवर्धन करने वाले असम व नागालैंड के महामहिम राज्यपाल प्रोफेसर जगदीश मुखी महोदय का गरिमामय आतिथ्य और संरक्षक भाव हमें प्राप्त हुआ है। हम आपके प्रति अत्यंत आभारी है कि पदेन दायित्वों के प्रचुरता होते हुए भी आपने अपना स्नेह हमें प्रदान किया। हम आपका अंत से स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हैं। मन प्रफुल्ल है कि इस पुनीत आयोजन में विशिष्ट अतिथि के रूप में हमें असम के ओजस्वी व यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर हिमंत विश्व शर्मा जी ने अपनी उपस्थिति से कृतार्थ किया है। एक प्रकार से मात्र के असम का नहीं, ये पूरे उत्तर पूर्व क्षेत्र में एक सांस्कृतिक या सभ्यामूलक एक रिस्पॉन्स, भारत के राष्ट्रीयता के आधार पर एक सिविलाइजेशनल एंड कल्चरल रिस्पॉन्स देने वाले एक नया एक मोर्चा खड़ा करने में भी डॉक्टर हेमंत विश्व शर्मा जी का जो योगदान बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। ऐसे मुख्यमंत्री जी का उपस्थिति, ये गरिमामय उपस्थिति को हमको प्रदान किया। हम आपका हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हैं। अपनी प्रज्ञा से विभिन्न सत्रों में ज्ञान का संचार करने हेतु पधारे विदुषी विद्वत वक्तागण तथा विभिन्न राज्यों से इस आयोजन को फलदायी बनाने हेतु उपस्थित प्रतिभागी भगिनी बंधुओं का भी आपका हृदय से स्वागत और अभिनंदन और नमन मैं करता हूं। आपके सभी के वरद हस्त से लोकमंथन इस राज्य में सफलता के प्रेरक प्रतिमान स्थापित करेगा, ऐसी आशा की नहीं अपितु पूर्ण विश्वास है। धवल पंथ के उद्गीतों का पूर्वोत्तर का आमंत्रण, पुण्य भूमि है अरुणोदय की भारत भूमि जनगणमन, चैतन्यों के नाद यहां हो सप्तलोक स्वर अनुगुंजन, आत्मभाव से आप सभी का है अभिनंदन, है अभिवादन। साथियों, लोकमंथन हमारी सांस्कृतिक विरासत के संरक्षण के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। प्रबुद्ध जन और अभ्यासियों को जोड़ने का एक प्रयास है। यह लोकमंथन की परंपरा के तीसरे संस्करण है। पहला भोपाल में 2016 में और दूसरा 2018 झारखंड प्रांत के राजधानी रांची में, और सही में 2020 में गुवाहाटी में होना था, लेकिन महामारी के चलते हुए वो कर नहीं पाया। अभी 2022 में ये संस्कृति के महान भूमि में संपन्न हो रहा है। ये हम सभी में समाहित सांस्कृतिक चैतन्य को संपुष्ट करेगा, हमारा पूरा विश्वास ये है। हम चिंतन के पुण्य सलीला में आचमन करके आत्मिक उन्नयन को ध्येय बनाकर आपके सम्मुख लोक मंथन श्रृंखला लेकर उपस्थित हुए हैं। साथियों, हम सभी लोक का स्वरूप है और हमारे द्वारा मानसिक रूप से होने जा रहा वैचारिक प्रस्फुटन, चिंतन, अनुगुंजन और आत्मिक निबंधन ही मंथन है। लोकमंथन इस शब्द में दो शब्द आते हैं। इसका मंथन के बारे में एक अथवा दो पंक्ति बताना चाहता हूं। अमृत प्राप्ति हेतु समुद्र मंथन की चर्चा पुराणों में प्राप्त होती है, जिसके फलस्वरूप अमृत सहित 14 रत्न निकले, किंतु उसी से कालकूट विष भी निकला था, जिसे लोक कल्याण के लिए भगवान शिव ने पी लिया था। इस प्रकार सृष्टि की रक्षा हो सकी। वस्तुतः लोक के रूप में हमारा मस्तिष्क नित्य प्रति इस प्रकार का मंथन करता है, जो हमारे राष्ट्र की एकीकृत चेतना, मानवीय मूल्यों, धरोहरों और लोक संग्रह को समर्पित हो। सकारात्मक या लोक कल्याणकारी प्रयोजन को देवता तथा नकारात्मक प्रयोजन को दानव मानना चाहिए। दोनों ही प्रकार की शक्तियों वैचारिक रूप से अमर होने के लिए हमेशा संघर्ष करती है, और यही संसार या लोक में भी होता है। मानसिक मंथन के उपरांत जो लोक संग्रह हेतु अच्छे प्रतिफल मिलते हैं, वे अमृत आदि 14 रत्न हैं, और जिन विचारों के मूल में केवल स्वार्थ सिद्धि हो, वे विषतुल्य है। इसलिए मंथन या चिंतन का उद्देश्य लोक कल्याण या लोक संग्रह होना चाहिए, ऐसा हमारा प्रयोजन है। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में लोक संग्रह को ही जीवन का उद्देश्य बताया गया है। गीता 3 अध्याय श्लोक 20 में भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने स्पष्ट किया कि कर्मण्येव हि संसिद्धि मास्तिता जनगादया लोक संग्रह में वापि संपश्यन कर्तुमर्हसि। भगवान श्री कृष्ण गीता में अर्जुन को लोक संग्रह का महत्व समझाते हुए यही बात बताया था। ये हमारे लिए भी एक प्रकार से शिरोधार्य है। और लोक में आ रहा हूं। सामान्य रूप से जब आजकल हम लोक की बात करते हैं, तो लोक कला, लोकगीत, लोक संगीत, लोकाचार, लोक व्यवहार, लोकप्रियता और लोक व्यापीकरण इत्यादि शब्द प्रचलन में होने के कारण हमारा ध्यान इन्हीं शब्दों पर जाता है। इसका अनुवाद के रूप में फोक शब्द भी बहुत ज्यादा प्रचार में है, लेकिन लोग के लिए अंग्रेजी के फोक शब्द को अनुवाद के रूप में लेते हैं तो यह उपयुक्त नहीं है, ऐसा हम समझते हैं। लोक शब्द फोक का पर्यायवाची या अनुवाद कहा ही नहीं जा सकता है। फोक शब्द समाज को विभाजित करता है। विभाजित करने के लिए कुछ लोगों ने जानबूझकर फोक शब्द का उपयोग करते हैं। एक प्रकार से एक वर्टिकल डिवाइड इन अवर सोसाइटी के लिए फोक का उपयोग करते हैं, जबकि लोग समग्रता के साथ प्रत्येक मनुष्य को दूसरे मनुष्य की चेतना के साथ संयुक्त करता है। भारतीय संस्कृति में लोक शब्द संस्कृत के लोक्यते सो धातु में घत्र प्रत्यय से व्युत्पन्न हुआ है, जिसके अनेक अर्थ है, जैसे संसार, भू, भुव, स्व, मह, जन तथा तप आदि 14 लोक, मानव जाति, प्रजा, सामान्य जीवन तथा क्षेत्र इत्यादि सब लोक के अंदर आता है। अपने कितने भी प्राचीन ग्रंथ अगर देखा है तो सबसे ज्यादा उपयोग लोक शब्द का करते हैं। ये सब आते हैं इसमें। इस शब्द का सही अर्थ फोक इंग्लिश शब्द से एक्चुअली इट इज बीइंग मेड बाय सम पीपल टू डिवाइड द सोसाइटी, एक ग्रामशियन टर्म है। ये भी समझने की आवश्यकता है, ये समझने की आवश्यकता है। अस्तु, लोक मानव जाति के सामूहिक चैतन्य का प्रवाहक है। लोक शब्द उतना ही प्राचीन है जितना कि अखिल विश्व या सृष्टि। सनातन परंपरा के अवधारणा है कि जब पृथ्वी पर मनुष्य की सर्वप्रथम उत्पत्ति हुई तब ईश्वर ने ऋषियों को वेद दिए, जो लोक का भी मूल स्रोत है। वेद भी लोक का मूल स्रोत, ऐसा हम समझते हैं, मानना चाहिए। स्पष्ट रूप से कहना है कि सनातन संस्कृति के अनुसार लोक में व्याप्त प्रत्येक संस्कार, गीत, संगीत, जीवन शैली, ज्ञान, विज्ञान, आहार विहार और परंपराएं इत्यादि हमें सनातन उपहार है। लोक में व्याप्त विविध क्रियाकलाप हमारे लिए मनोरंजन या केवल क्षणिक मनोविनोद से जुड़े प्रत्यय नहीं है, न ही वह केवल जनसामान्य या ग्रामीण परिवेश का विषय है जा सकता है, अपितु ये हमारे लिए अस्तित्व का विषय है, हमारे लिए आत्मरंजन का विषय है। अब यह समझा जा सकता है कि लोकमंथन कितना व्यापक आयाम है, जिसे लेकर प्रज्ञा की धारा, इस राष्ट्र की प्रज्ञा की धारा निरंतर माता भूमि पुत्रोहम पृथ्व्या के मनोभाव को लेकर आगे बढ़ रही है। आप सभी का पुनः कोटिशः अभिनंदन। भारत माता की जय।
धन्यवाद महोदय। এতিয়া মই বিনম্ৰ অনুৰোধ জনাইছো আমাৰ আজিৰ এই সভাখনিৰ বিশিষ্ট সন্মানীয় অতিথি অসমৰ মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা মহোদয়ক তেখেতৰ বহুমূলীয়া ভাষণ প্ৰদান কৰিবলৈ।
Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, Honorable Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi ji, National Convenor of Prajna Pravah, Shri J. Nandakumar ji, Working President of Lokmanthan 2022, Dr. Gargi Saikia Himanta ji, Mananiya श्री दत्तात्रेय होसावले जी, सरसंघ कार्यवा राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, प्रज्ञा प्रवाह और इंटेलेक्चुअल फोरम फॉर नॉर्थ ईस्ट के साझेदारी और आसाम पर्यटन विकास निगम के सहयोग से आयोजित लोकमंथन 2022 के इस मंच पर उपस्थित होकर मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। For the people of Assam, today is very significant day. Honorable Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji visit our state for the first time today after his assumption on the prestigious office of the Vice President of India. Therefore, on behalf of the people of Assam, I extend a warm welcome to Honorable Vice President Shri Dhankhar ji to our beautiful state. Shri Dhankhar ji has a glorious legal and legislative career rooted to the foundation and cultural framework of our great nation. His career as a governor has remained very illustrious. He has always worked for the well-being of farmers, youth, women, and the marginalized. Sir, your visit is a great honor for us, and I am sure we will gain tremendously from your intellect and wisdom. We eagerly look forward to hear your insightful words. मैंने माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी को बताया हूं, आज आप प्रज्ञा प्रवाह का कार्यक्रम में आया है, लेकिन आसाम का कार्यक्रम में आपको दोबारा आना पड़ेगा और हमारा ये अपेक्षा भी रहेगा. It is also a pride privilege for us that our state is hosting the 3rd edition of this intellectual discourse of Lokmanthan, which is rooted in Indian ethos and tradition. The Guwahati Edition focuses on Lok Parampara of India. I am sure deliberation at this platform will generate mass awareness on the rich culture, tradition, and lifestyle of the people of North East and the country. This will also lead to a celebration of the great cultural legacy of our Pavitra Bharat Bhumi. For the last several decades, since the time of independence, India was considered only to be a nation state. This thought was also supported by certain educated society, media, and intellectual class of India at that time. In their consciousness, India was only a few tribes, a few states, each with their own culture, which was ruled by some invaders from time to come. They wanted to say that culturally this was the land was never one. कोई कोई ये भी बोलता है कि भारत खाली एक यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट ही है. हमारी यह गौरवशाली भूमि दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी सभ्यताओं में से एक है. भारतीयता की भावना 19वीं सदी और उस समय के नेशन स्टेट की धारणा से काफी पुरानी है. यूरोपीय कॉलोनियल शक्तियों ने कोई देशों और महाद्वीपों के लोगों को धर्म और संस्कृति को पूरी तरह से नष्ट कर दिया था. जैसे कि कैरेबियन द्वीप समूह, अमेरिका, अफ्रीका, ऑस्ट्रेलिया आदि देशों में उन्होंने अपने उपनिवेश स्थापित किए, परंतु ये भारत के प्राचीन मान्यताओं और परंपराओं को नष्ट करने में सफल नहीं हुए. सनातन सभ्यता की आंतरिक शक्ति के कारण ही हमारे संस्कृति यूरोपीय सभ्यता का सामने अपराजय रहे. Two most noteworthy features of our country and numerous diversities are India's territorial integrity and cultural unity. India's journey as a united country is several thousands of years old. The country was referred to as Jambudip and Bharatvarsh in ancient scripture, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat, or far beyond. The name Jambudip referred to the geographical area, and on the contrary, the name Bharatvarsh had political ideas embedded in it. A major characteristics of Indian civilization is that it does not consider country only as an inert political entity. For us, our nation is akin to our mother, a vibrant goddess whose every geographical appearance, the landscape, rivers, hills, and mountains finds a place in the verses and hymns of Indian scripture. In the Vishnu Purana, we find mentions such as Tapi Puensi, Nividha Pramukha, Khasa Sambhavaha, Godavari Bhimarothi, Krishna Vena Dikastataha. Sajya Padudhava Nadang Smitaha Papabhaya Pahaha, Kritamala Tamraparti Pramukha Malay Udbhavaha. Asang Nadu Panadasa Santanasya Sahasrasa Tambime Kurupansala Madhya Desudaya Janaha Purva Dese Dikasaiva Kamrupa Nivasinaha Pundra Kalinga Magadha Dakhinaittasa Sarvasaha. भारतीय सभ्यता की एक विशेषता ये है कि ये देश को केवल एक राजनैतिक इकाई के रूप में नहीं देखते हैं। हमारे लिए राष्ट्र हमारी माँ है। भारत एक जागृत देवी है जिनका भौगोलिक रूप, परिदृश्य, नदियां, पहाड़ भारतीय शास्त्र में स्थान पाते हैं। This means river like Tapi, Payansi, etc. originated from the Harsh mountain. The rivers that wash away our sins like Godavari, Krishnaturi, etc. originate from the mountains of tolerance. Some rivers like Kritamala and Tamaprami originate from the Malaya mountains. These rivers are surrounded by people from Kuru Pansal and Madhya Pradesh, resident of eastern country of Kamrup, Pundras, Kalingas, Magadhas, entire people of Deccans. India is the most revered for her children. Patriotism, unity, and love of the people is reflected in their prayer for the motherland. They say, Atra Janma Sahasranang Sahasravapi Shattam Kadasit Lavate Jantu Manushang Punar Asasayan. This means after thousands of births, organism can rarely born here as a human beings on the strength of your good virtue. हमारे लिए राष्ट्र सबसे पूजनीय है। लोगों की प्रार्थना में मातृभूमि के लिए देशभक्ति, एकता और प्रेम झलकता है। It is because of this inseparable and inexhaustible relationship between the territory of India and Indian civilization that Bharat Mata is considered a living entity. This is why the people of India look for God in every geographical appearance of India. This is why the tradition of pilgrimage since ancient times is a special characteristic feature of Indians. Almost every geographical appearance of the hills, mountains, lakes, and rivers of India is the source of pilgrimage for Indian. This sense of devotion towards its geography instilled in the minds of the Indians has given rise to a cultural unity, keeping the diversity alive. This is the idea of India. The idea makes Indians proud as citizens of a living civilization. The stream of civilization which has been following since ancient times through the prayers and tradition of the people. In the 15th century of Assam, Vaishnavite saint Mahapurush Srimanta Sankardeva came into contact with larger Indian culture and wanted to unite the entire region with Sanatana civilization. This great saint visited various shrines in India and came in contact with many scholarly saints of the mainland in the midst of Indian culture. Mahapurush Srimanta Sankardeva could see the reflection and echo of the Assamese art and culture. Among the old Assamese poets, Srimanta Sankardeva was the first to associate India with Assam in 1500th century. Eminent scholar Dr. Birinsi Kumar Borua commented in this regard, the conception of India as our mother country was conceived by Mahapurush Srimanta Sankardeva 5 centuries ago. He wanted people to feel proud of being born in his holy country of Bharatvarsh, as India provides an immense opportunity for development of man's moral and spiritual potentialities. Repeatedly did he emphasize the glorious and spiritual experience of India. By translating Bhakti Ratnakar into Assamese, he named a chapter in its Bharat Bhu Prasankha, meaning in praise of Bharat Bhumi. Apart from Sankardeva, the glorification of India is found in the writings of many other saints of Assam. They say, Devaro Banshani Norodeha itu Pao ase Bharatata Krishna Khewa kori Nana Kajya kori Phure Nana Bikhoyata. Meaning, the gods and goddesses also desire to be born as human beings in the sacred land of Bharat, where one should serve Lord Krishna by doing different things on varied issues. 15वीं शताब्दी के आसाम के वैष्णव धर्मगुरु महापुरुष श्रीमंत शंकरदेव ने बृहत्तर भारतीय संस्कृति के संपर्क में आकर पूरे क्षेत्र के एक सूत्र में बांधने की कोशिश की। महापुरुष श्रीमंत शंकरदेव ने अपने लेखन में भारत की बार बार प्रशंसा की है। महापुरुष श्रीमंत शंकरदेव ने भारत में विभिन्न तीर्थ स्थलों का दौरा किया और कोई महान संतों से मिले। शंकरदेव ने भारतीय संस्कृति में अपनी जन्मभूमि की कला और संस्कृति का प्रतिबिंब देखा और उनका प्रतिध्वनि सुना। पुराने असमिया कवियों में श्रीमंत शंकरदेव पहले जिन्होंने असम का साथ भारतवर्ष को जोड़ा। इस संबंध में हमारे एक प्रख्यात लेखक बीरेंद्र कुमार बरुआ ने बोला था, अपनी मातृभूमि के रूप में भारत की कल्पना 5 शताब्दियों पहले महापुरुष श्रीमंत शंकरदेव ने की थी। वो चाहते थे कि लोग भारतवर्ष में पैदा होने पर गर्व महसूस करें, क्योंकि भारत का लोगों की नैतिक और आध्यात्मिक क्षमताओं की विकास के लिए एक विशाल अवसर प्रदान करते हैं। उन्होंने बार बार भारत के गौरवशाली और आध्यात्मिक अनुभव पर जोर दिया। Based on the strength derived from the ancient ethos of our great nation, today Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi spearhead the movement of Punarnirman of Bharatvarsh. This movement is for resurgence of country's 5,000-year-old culture and civilization. This movement is for achievement of right and dignity for the underprivileged and fulfillment of dreams of crores of Indians. This movement is also for establishment of a powerful image of India in the global landscape and emergence of the country as Biswa Guru. On such backdrop, I would also like to dwell into cultural heritage of North East India, which has continued to enrich great Indian civilization since ancient times. The Northeast India is blessed with nature's bounty in abundance. This mystic nature, the myth, the legend, the wildlife, varied flora and fauna make it one of the most diverse biodiversity hotspots in the world. This region is home to numerous ethnic groups having distinct culture, language, tradition, heritage, food habits, and lifestyle. This makes the region incredibly vibrant and colorful. Though the people in our region practice different customs, tradition, and beliefs, one thing that binds us together is the common identity as Indian. The Northeast India has a rich folk tradition which include folk art, crafts, costume, custom, belief, traditional medicine, recipe, music, dance, games, as well as folk literature, which are better described as verbal art. The structural and comparative studies of music, dance, and drama of the region provides interesting lights on certain aspect of the traditional culture. They throw light on the relationship between tribal and non-tribal people, between folk and elite forms of culture, and also between various ethnic and regional forms. Our region also stands testimony to the very interesting phenomena of Buddhist influence on the different tribes of this region from across the border. Tibetan Buddhism has influence over tribes such as Monpa and Monpas of Arunachal. On the other hand, the affiliation of some other tribes like Khamti, Phako, Khamiang, Turong, Aitonia is with Burmese Buddhism. The folk culture in Assam is very alive and vibrant. Several traditions of faiths and customs of Assam center around worshipping animals. In Assamese society, cow is worshipped, especially during Bihu, and many rituals are associated with this worship. Similarly, there are many traditional faiths associated with worshipping nature and various other animals. Seeking good harvest, many rituals are performed by different ethnic groups, which form a fascinating part of the traditional culture of the state. From such rituals, there develop many festivals which give distinct identity to the ethnic groups. Moreover, at every stage of human evolution, from birth till death, we find several traditional beliefs and customs being performed in our society. Today, there has been a renewed consciousness among the people of the state about its folk heritage. Due to the foresight and dedicated effort of pioneers like Surya Kumar Bhuya, Birinsi Kumar Borua, Hemchandra Borua, etc., study of folk culture, Lok Sanskriti, as an academic discipline has been roots in our region. Folklore constitute a major thrust area today in the academic programs of various universities in the region. मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी हो रहे है कि राज्य के आदिवासियों की संस्कृति को महत्व को देखते हुए हमारे सरकार ने एक विभाग बनाया। यही विभाग आदिवासी संस्कृति को बढ़ावा देने के लिए कार्य कर रही है। इस विभाग को आदिवासियों की संस्कृति के संरक्षण के लिए एक मजबूत नींव रखने का काम सौंपा गया है। Before ending my speech, I'd like to make a request to our Honorable Vice President. Sir, we are indeed honored by your presence today in our state. However, to experience the rich cultural as well as ethnic diversity and also witness the magnificent biodiversity of northeastern region, I'd like to invite you to visit Assam and the region again. Sir, your visit to various places would greatly enrich us. आज लोकमंथन की ये कार्यक्रम में देश से बहुत ही गुणवान लोग आया है। असम का धरती में मां कामाख्या और महापुरुष श्रीमंत शंकरदेव का ये पवित्र भूमि में मैं आपका सबको स्वागत करता हूं। मैं यही आशा करता हूं कि आपका यहाँ में जो डिस्कोर्स होगा, डिस्कशन होगा, यहाँ से हमारा भारत में और शक्तिशाली होगा और हमारा सिविलाइजेशन को और बहुत बल मिलेगा। मैं ये विश्वास करता हूं कि हमारा सिविलाइजेशन का ऊपर ये जो लेफ्ट और सेकुलर लोगों का एक अटैक हो रहा है, उसको हम लोग को कलेक्टिवली एक बहुत बड़ा रेस्पॉन्स देना है। हम लोगों ये लोगों को एकेडमिक तरीका से, हमारा डिबेट से और हमारा जो जन कल्याण का भावों से हम वो लोगों को ये सिखा देना है कि भारतवर्ष कोई यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट नहीं है। भारतवर्ष हमारा जीता जागता मातृभूमि है और भारत हमारा पवित्र कर्म भूमि है। आज भारत के लिए जो हमारा सिविलाइजेशनल चैलेंज है, हम ये लोग को ये भी समझा देना है कि भारतवर्ष कोई 1947 में जन्म होने वाला भौगोलिक भूखंड नहीं है। भारत अनादिकाल से था और भारत अनादिकाल तक रहेगा, यही हमारा भूखंड है। मैं बार बार बोलता हूं, भारत कोई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, भारत इज अ सिविलाइजेशन डेमोक्रेसी। और भारत का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हमारा पूज्य है कि, लेकिन भारत का सभ्यता हमारा परम पूज्य है। यही चिंता और भावना को लेके हमको आगे बढ़ना है। पुनः आपको सबको ये महान भूमि से मैं स्वागत करते हुए मैं मेरा वाणी को विराम देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। भारत माता की जय।
I thank Honorable Chief Minister of Assam for his inspiring words. अब मैं असम और नागालैंड के माननीय राज्यपाल प्रोफेसर जगदीश मुखी जी से विनम्र निवेदन।
Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhανkhड जी, Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa शर्मा जी, आदरणीय अखिल भारतीय संयोजक प्रज्ञा प्रवाह श्री नंदकुमार जी, वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ लोकमंच लोकमंथन डॉक्टर गार्गी सैकिया महंता जी, राष्ट्रीय संसद संघ के सरकारेवा दत्तात्रेय होसबोले जी, सहकार्यवाह डॉक्टर मनमोहन वैद्य जी, यहाँ उपस्थित देश के कोने कोने से आए वरिष्ठ कार्यकर्ता बहनों और भाइयों, मेरे मीडिया के उपस्थित बंधुओं, it's indeed my pleasure to be speaking here in this August gathering for Lokmanthan 2022. Our country, Bharat, has a unique heritage of knowledge sharing, public disclosure, and intellectual brainstorming. Lokmanthan is the churn of the nation and its journey to seek and rediscover the cultural and traditional treasures hidden in different parts of our country. Bharat is the most ancient civilization of the world and has always been looked upon by the world as a land of wealth and wisdom. Our country has been credited to have developed philosophy and mathematics, science and technology of a very high order. This great nation's contribution to the march of civilization goes back to the several thousand years, even before the Christian era. From Vedas to Upanishad, down to several institutions and areas, Bharat was respected for its flourishing economy, trade, commerce and culture. It had its international outreach, which very few nations could claim. Even before the advent of the colonial forces, our goods were internationally valued and recognized for their superior quality and craftsmanship. We have historical records to establish that the level of progress and prosperity attained by our Bharat Bhumi was much before the advent of Europeans. Our country was a land of abundance, affluence, a land of sharing and caring, living in perfect harmony and nature. We really feel that no nation can chart out its domestic and foreign policies unless it has clear knowledge about its history, roots, strengths, and failings. For the last few centuries, however, our country was in state of myopic vision, facing political, social, cultural instability, which not only had an impact on its socio-religious values, but also on economic prosperity. Indian freedom struggle, which was inspired by Tilak, Gandhi, Aurobindo, Patel, Bose and others, had a clear vision of the civilizational consciousness of our past. These leaders had directed the freedom movement, keeping the Indian ways and thoughts into the center of their action. They had a vision to reconstruct the political and economic institutions of India as an outcome of civilizational consciousness, which made India one country, one people, and one nation. After achieving independence, the leaders at the helm of the affairs seemed to have lost the spirit and vision which the freedom movement had evoked. They discarded the vision and adopted the institutional framework of administration created by the Britishers, which was quite alien to India's worldview. It is unfortunate that these leaders could not comprehend India's inner vitality, which was the main force responsible for India's survival despite several attacks and prolonged foreign rule. This parasitic view of the leaders during the country's independence from the British failed to rekindle the spirit of India. Even after 7 decades of our independence, the country has not been able to rediscover its innate vitality. As a result, in spite of being an olden civilization and young republic, the country was engulfed by a multidimensional crisis. However, the time is now changing fast to our favor and fortune. After coming to the end of affairs, we are now working very hard to reorient the policy and social system in concurrence with those strong points of Indian psyche, which I am sure will drive us to realize our future glory. We have kept the doors and windows open to have a clear understanding of the global scenario and how, without destroying our uniqueness, we can assimilate the best to regain our lost glory for our mission of Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. I am more than confident we can definitely achieve this goal because we have committed workers, leaders, and dedicated framework that always motivate us to render our best and reach the height where no country could reach. We have leadership with strong determination and patriotic fervor. As Swami Vivekananda said, I quote, "All power is within you. You can do anything. Believe in that," unquote. Rightly said, the power lies in the people of our country, in the inner sanctum of Mother India. What is indeed is to ignite the spark, and Mother India would rise in her full glory. As Shri Ma had once said, the India had become the symbolic representation of all the difficulties of the modern mankind, but India will also be the land of its resurrection. From my core of my heart, I express my gratitude to the organizers for having selected Guwahati, the gateway of North East India, and other Southeast Asian nations to host Lokmanthan 2022, a colloquium of nation first. You all know, North is a home to several beautiful tribes, sub-tribes, and ethnicities who have enriched our country with their unique culture, music, dance, and of course, their way of life. I hope the deliberations in the colloquium in Assam which is the holy land of Ma Kamaksha and great Mahapurusha Shankaradeva, will definitely be helpful in charting out a roadmap to guide us in regaining our glory to make India as a Vishwaguru, the dream of our beloved Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. I once again thank all the dignitaries for their presence and persistence. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I thank Honorable Governor Professor Jagdish Mukhi ji for his valuable speech. Ladies and gentlemen, on the occasion of the 3rd edition of Lokmanthan, as a souvenir, we have prepared a compendium of the rich culture and tradition of Northeast titled Lok Parampara, and along with it, we would also release today a book titled In Pursuit of a Dream, written by Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa. So before we proceed for the release of the books, I request Honorable Advisor to the Education Department, Government of Assam, and Advisor Lokmanthan 2022, Professor Noni Gopal Mohanto Mohodoy, to kindly speak a few words on these books. Kindly.
Namaskar. His Excellency the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Dangoria, Honorable Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi Dangoria, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Dangoria, and respected Shri Nandakumar Dangoria, Aru Param Pujaniya Dotatra Hazabole Dangoria, Aru Priya Hudibrinda. I have the honor to introduce 2 books to be inaugurated today. The first book, that is Lok Parampara, Lokmanthan 2022, a compendium. This souvenir Lok Parampara, published on the occasion of Lokmanthan 2022, is a compendium on the life and lore of the people of all the states of Northeast India. Earlier, there were 7 states in Northeast India, and they were termed as the 7 sisters. Later on, Sikkim was also added to this region, and it is rightly termed as Ashtalakshmi. The states of the Northeast cover an area of 7.9% of the total area of Bharatbarsha. It contains the highest number of ethnic communities living within an area of this size in the whole of the world, according to some studies. There are Indo-Aryans, Mongoloids, Dravidians, and Australoids or Austrics living together in this region. More than 185 languages are spoken in this region. These languages belong to Indo-Aryan, Tibeto-Burman, Austro-Asiatic, Tai-Kadai, and Dravidian language families. The compendium includes writings on the life and lore of the people of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and Assam. Attempt has been made to focus on as many communities of the Northeast as possible in this compendium, so that one can have a glimpse of the whole of Northeast India through this book. The writings have been able to throw light on various aspects of culture, language, performing arts, culinary habits, customary laws, etc. of the people of this region. I have also the honor to speak a few words about the second book, written by Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa. The book title, In Pursuit of a Dream by Dr. Himanta Biswa, is a collection of 25 speeches of Dr. Sharma delivered in different platforms. Dr. Himanta Biswa, the incumbent Chief Minister of Assam, set off on a new journey in his political life when he formally joined the Bharatiya Janata Party way back in August 2015. A workaholic by nature, the speeches which he has delivered at different forums make it amply clear that he is a man with a crystal clear vision for our state, and without an iota of doubt, a man devoted to his work who works with a missionary zeal. So far as his developmental agenda is concerned, he has been extremely meticulous in chalking out a comprehensive plan which includes all the groups of the people of the state, the tribal group, the Society of the Tea Gardens, and other ethnic groups of our state. That he wants to make Assam one of the five best states in India becomes clear by the content of the speeches, which are at present being translated into a palpable reality. His speeches in this book stand testimony to the fact that Dr. Sarma has taken solemn pledge to defend our culture and society and protect the indigenous people from the forces which are inimical to the progress and growth of the state. The book gives an insight as how the COVID-19 crisis was handled by Dr. Sarma and his team of workers, including doctors, nurses, ambulance drivers, the police, etc. Influenced by the ideology and philosophy of Swami Vivekananda, in one of the speeches he argues the youth to work hard and dedicate themselves for the development of the state in all aspects of life. The various schemes launched by the government from time to time for different sections of the society go on to prove that he is concerned about one and all. Dr. Sarma began his journey with a dream, and his dream vision is being given a definite shape in this book, which is tangible and is there for all of us to behold. With these words, I conclude. Thank you all of us. Jai Hind. Namaste.
धन्यवाद महाशय। अब मैं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी से विनम्र आग्रह करती हूँ कि वे कृपया इन पुस्तकों का विमोचन करें। लोक परंपरा 2022 और इन पर्सूट ऑफ अ ड्रीम। देवी और सज्जनों, लोक परंपरा 2022 और साथ ही विमोचन करने जा रहे हैं पुस्तक इन पर्सूट ऑफ अ ड्रीम। Here, Honorable Vice President of India is releasing the book written by Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, In Pursuit of a Dream. धन्यवाद महोदय। May I now take the honor of inviting our chief guest, Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, to kindly deliver his inaugural address.
Namaskar. Greetings to everyone present here. Honorable Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, National Convenor, Pravah, Shri Nandakumar ji, Working President Lokmanthan 2022, Dr. Gargi Saikia Himanta ji, distinguished audience, congratulations to the artists who made available to us cultural fiesta indicative of richness of this region. Grateful to the Honorable Chief Minister for very kind words. These are contestable. He has invited me. I am known to accept invitations from friends. I await a formal invitation. I will be with you all. indeed privileged to be associated with this inaugural session of the third edition of Lokmanthan in Guwahati today. It is indeed a very appropriate place for such an occasion and function. It is satisfying to learn that Lokmanthan 2022, with the theme of Lok Parampara, is celebrating the culture and ethos of northeastern India and facilitating a dialogue between artists, intellectuals, and academicians drawn from various parts of the country to recognize many historical traditions of Bharat. Compliment Pravah for organizing this national level colloquium over the years to bring out the hidden treasures of our traditional knowledge. Warm regards to the local organizations, Intellectual Forum of North East and Assam Tourism Development Corporation for their earnest, productive efforts. India has a great, unrivaled heritage of debate, discussion, knowledge sharing, public discourse, and intellectual brainstorming. In ancient times, there was a healthy space where debates were conducted to examine various religions, philosophical and moral issues. Indian epics like Bhagavad Gita and in-depth contemplation on morality and philosophy in the form of dialogue. Dialogue, debate, and discussion are soul of governance. Contemporaneous scenario on this count, particularly legislatures, is worrisome. Entire ecosystem upliftment can be effected by drawing lessons from our rich past. The great Brad Vanikaga Upanishad itself was firmed up on discussion, such as Yajnavalkya Gargi dialogue, historical dialogue, in which the sage Gargi, in a philosophical debate, challenging sage Yajnavalkya with intriguing questions on the issue of Atma. Lokmanthan seeks to revive, and if I go by the two earlier editions, seeks to revive very successfully on incremental trajectory our age-old Bharatiya tradition of Samvad. Our concept of Samvad is not mere transmission of information, but positive and constructive communication that wholesomely serves societal causes. The thriving space for discussion and dialogue that once existed in the public realm is no longer there. It needs to be regained and protected from many dangers in faces. In a race for one-upmanship, and that is being witnessed very frequently in all facets of life and under constant glare of the public eye, debates televised or on social media are turning into cacophonous fighting arenas. In that field of fight, the debates offer a daunting challenge to anyone in the field of wrestling. That is something we have to look up to see that we don't derail ourselves. Intolerance of the other point of view, and this is very frequent in present times. Intolerance of the other point of view is antithetical to wholesome environment for free exchange of ideas and thoughts. This trend needs containment so that societal harmony is unreached. Experience has shown that more often than not, the other point of view turns out to be correct point of view. Media should take initiative. Here, they should introspect, pass on the mic, and let unique, original, and marginalized voices come to the mainstream. What an alarming scenario, a worrisome spectacle that sanity and rationality hardly get any space in the media. Media takes a ripple, converts into a tsunami by high decibel. Media needs to rethink and keep in mind our age-old ethos, democratic values, and civilizational gift. Time to step out of our echo chambers, caused both by social structure and social media algorithms, and let our minds breathe. It is time for us, in national and societal interest, to revive our age-old art of listening. We must rediscover also the art of dialogue. These two facets, the absence of these is being felt in contemporaneous times, and the return to the mainstream and on the radar will change the system for the better. The role of intellectuals in our country is very critical. Historically, our sages, the highly enlightened souls of the time, advised the kings and royalty on various aspects of public polity and policy. These same voices were heard by all sections of people and ensuring harmony and stability in society, and gave legitimacy to the laws of the land. This aspect generated what we can say richness of our civilization. In this background, if our intelligentsia decides to opt for silence in the current times on varied issues, then this very important section of society is bound to be silenced forever by their own acts of inaction. They must freely practice dialogue and deliberation so that societal morality and propriety are preserved. Silence of the intelligentsia is indeed baffling. The kind of challenges the country and society is facing at this moment, they are not reflecting on that. It is time for intelligentsia to give directional approach to various issues by coming out, and if I may say so, playing on the front foot with a straight bat. Democratic values and human rights, and they are critical to any governance, any society, any system. They can blossom with intelligentsia adopting proactive stance of dialogue and discussion. I have noticed in various capacities I have been able to contribute for the nation that the silence resonated in my ears more than anything else. I could never figure out how can intelligentsia observe silence in a scenario of decimation of human rights and eclipse of democratic values. The primacy attributed to the freedom of expression in our Constitution, and this primacy did not obtain in most constitutions at the earliest occasion, is a testimony to the importance of free, spirited, and healthy discussion that we have long cherished. Freedom of expression is nectar of democracy. Under no circumstances we can compromise on this. This is non-negotiable, and if we depart from this concept, the consequences certainly will deprive us of sublimity and wholesomeness. The Constituent Assembly debates are replete with many enriching and intriguing dialects, and that illuminate India's founding fathers' emphasis on deliberative mechanism. This mechanism by itself paves way to resolution of many issues facing us today. Reflecting in the context of constituent assemblies, we must be aware they faced most intractable, difficult situations, and they were debated in a composed manner with respect to each other's point of view, and sometimes their points of view were not reconcilable. In the times we live, the theaters of legislature need to rethink. Their core work, their core values are being self-destroyed. If issues that are required to be deliberated, discussed on the floor of legislature come to be debated on the streets, that will offer a challenge which can be met only by restoration of decorum, discipline in the legislatures. The framers of the Constitution have envisioned a wholesome balance between three institutions: legislature, executive, and judiciary. None of these institutions can claim either dominance or primacy over the other. All these three institutions have to act in tandem and togetherness, in constructive harmony, realizing supremacy of the Constitution. In this situation also, the intelligentsia has a great role to play. And if intelligentsia undertakes, then synergical stance of these institutions will really help the country to a great extent. Be it from legal community, public representatives, the executive, or thinkers from civic society, each one has to ensure harmonious working of the three branches of the state through deliberative mechanism. Any transgression by one institution, howsoever subtle, howsoever non-invasive, has the potential to upset the apple cart of democratic governance. While the primary responsibility lies with those at the helm of affairs of these institutions, I can say a greater responsibility lies with the members of the civil society and thinkers, intellectuals. Another concerning trend that has to be curtailed is the problem of pseudo-intellectualism. One is baffled that in our country, iconic status is accorded on parameters that have no rationale, on parameters that are generated by event management. There is no scrutiny of this aspect. Can public space be allowed to be dominated by media-created or event-created giants, eclipsing the authentic repository of this particular category. I am sure people, thinkers, would catalyze a situation where this category that offers a challenge to the country which is on the rise from any corner of the globe every time something good is happening in the country. I wonder what is their premise of not sharing and enjoying the growth story of this country. The world is amazed that 90 crore people were fed by this country during COVID for nearly 2 years. The world is stunned that 250 million people could be part of banking inclusivity and get benefit. I know out of experience, as a young lawyer, the bank that gave me 6,000 rupees for my library made my life. Now, governmental systemic arrangement is you need to have an idea. Money is not a consideration, be it 250 million or 2,500 million. And I'm saying so because many have availed of this opportunity and given us some of the startling startups, genius of Indian mind. But this phenomena of being authentic, transparent, and accountable can be seen in one facet only, for instance, though it is available in several facets of governance. Recently, conferment of Padma Awards to deserving people through transparent process is a soothing aspect that has been widely acclaimed. I can share it with you. As Governor of West Bengal, I noticed that the people who got Padma Awards were not known. But the moment Padma Award was given to them, the society rose. Right person has been given Padma Award. And that is a scenario all over the country. Patronage is no longer a passage for getting Padma Awards. As a matter of fact, patronage should not be a passage to get anything in a democratic society if we have to realize the preamble of our Indian Constitution and right of equality and fundamental rights. As a people, we are bound by a common cultural thread that underpins and recognizes and resonates across all regions of the country, relevant at all times. This commonality of our entire nation is manifested in the life of our ordinary people. On this point, I would like to indicate a reflection made by father of the Indian Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar. I quote, "It is the unity of culture that is the basis of homogeneity. Taking this for granted, I venture to say that there is no country, I repeat, there is no country that can rival the Indian Peninsula with respect to the unity of its culture," unquote. As chairman of Eastern Zone Cultural Center that covers the entire field of Northeast, while being Governor of West Bengal, I noticed it, felt it, experienced it, and was enamored of it. I came to be energized thereby, inspired and motivated. The beauty and strength of this indubitable cultural unity reflects in every facet of our national life, right from the mundane secular matters to the lofty spiritual aspects, from the songs sung by farmers during sowing season to our historic approach towards environment. I pause here for a moment. Go to any part of the country, when there is harvest season. Look at the songs they have, any part of the country. Look at the festivals they have. The name is different, the songs are different, the region is different, the language is different. But essence and spirit thereof is common. And this is the pristine essence of Bharatiyata. India's civilizational ethos speak of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We consider the entire world a family. Let us look at our history. Look into historical perspective. This is not just an assertion. This has been exemplified by thousands of years of working of Indian civilization. किसी भी कालखंड को देख लो, this was amply proved, and even at the cost of painful suffering. We consider the world as a family, have demonstrated it all through without exception. This time-tested virtue has been our guiding light in maintaining internal and external peace. We must transmit these pearls of wisdom to our future generations through value-based education. It is gratifying to note that after making a great effort, listening to the voice of hundreds of stakeholders, we have had a new education policy. Every facet of that policy focuses on our ethos, our culture, our need, our requirement, and our inherent development. This policy permits, allows, offers affirmative situation, ecosystem for fullest exploitation of one's talent and potential. It is unfortunate that some states have chosen not to adopt it. Education is non-partisan. Education cannot be politicized. Education is alone responsible for catapulting a nation to the highest order. Industry can create infrastructure, can produce, but the product they engage in is a product of education. Exhilarating to note that this edition of Lokmanthan is being organized in Guwahati. The Honorable Chief Minister has at great length indicated the richness of this area. And I can assure you, he is known to be factually very accurate. The Sanskriti of Bharat is something which is non-negotiable. We have no option to keep our nation first, to promote our Sanskriti, to believe in our Sanskriti, and those who think otherwise have a lot to answer. The diversity of cultural practices in the region are unmatched. I have never seen any part of the world where with such diversity there is harmony. And that harmony is principally premised on our cultural ethos. I have been to some countries of Europe, and for a longer time for assignment, the ethnic issues that dominate the scene of those countries have to learn much from this country, which has a digestible, inherently digestible mechanism to amalgate every other thought, and then the richness is revealed. The diversity of cultural practices in this region, as the Honorable Chief Minister indicated, is one of the best. He has indicated it is unmatched. It is so. They resonate with quintessential Indian values of peace, harmony, and universal brotherhood. I wouldn't digress but indicate briefly that in the recent world turmoil situation, sane voices emanated from Indian leadership, and that has evoked positive reaction and great respect. On a worldwide spectrum, there is recognition of that sane voice. As we march confidently into this century further, it is all the more peremptory for us to believe in our demographic dividend, our brilliant youth force. And the youth force for the present, fortunately, is unencumbered by colonial hangover. The demonstration of it is that thanks to Indian genius, even in global economic entities of the world, the leadership is in the hands of Indians. We must empower our youth further beyond governmental efforts. The government has engaged in great innovative steps. They are yielding fruits. But geometrical dimension of these efforts will take place when people in industry, business, trade, intelligentsia, academia also lend their helping hand. I have seen for myself the hand-holding approach was seen in sublimity during the trying times of COVID. As we are exposed to diverse traditions of India, hope that we approach them with open mind and with a sense of rational inquiry. As a society, it is necessary that we develop a sense of our own history, which includes our traditions, local art forms, innumerous dialects. Only then can we be truly independent in mind and spirit. The approach to reject an idea on partisan grounds at a drop of hat is a tendency that can be curbed by the common man, the intelligentsia, the academia. We must be open to all ideas, and it is only after deep deliberation, dialogue, and discussion that the judgmental mode must be reflected. Glad to see that many sessions over the next few days will highlight parampara in various facets of our life, be it agriculture, education, environment, culture, and other aspects. I am confident these sessions will remind us of our duty in preserving our traditions and consolidating them. Before concluding, I would like to give a quote from a Supreme Court judgment. It is said quite often, your past never leaves you. Your shadow always accompanies you. So my being a legal professional, even though technically that part is suspended, I continue to be eklavya of that. I would therefore conclude, and for the reason that the wise thoughts have emanated from someone who has lived in this area for long. The judgment of the Supreme Court says, I'm quoting, then I'll give the name of the author of the judgment. A professor of Cambridge, I'm quoting, a professor of Cambridge University is deeply engrossed in his studies, in his calm chamber. Professors are used to doing that. They are more productive when they are in their chamber. An agitated English soldier enters the study room and accuses the professor in not sharing the trauma of war, which he and many others like him are facing while fighting Germans, a normal reaction emanating from robust common sense. The professor calmly asked the young soldier for whom he is fighting for. Professors are known to ask difficult questions. This was a very simple question posed by the professor to the soldier. Quick comes the reply, and the soldier says, to defend the country. A very logical answer will impress anyone, but professors are known to unsettle things when they appear to be settled otherwise. The wise man wants to know, what is that country to defend which is prepared to shed his blood? The soldier's mind is activated and agitated. The soldier replies, it's a territory and its people. The professor was unstoppable. He goes to the next level. On further questioning, the soldier says, it is not only this, but the culture of the country, which he wants to defend. So the soldier came to the real response. He is prepared to lay his own life to defend the culture of the country. Now comes a final. The professor quietly states that he is contributing to that culture in his cozy room. The soldier calms down. Soldiers are known to be very disciplined after being convinced. They obey the command of their officers, but for others, they only act when they are convinced. The soldier was convinced. So he calms down, bows in respect to the professor, and was to defend with more vigor the cultural heritage of his country, unquote. This judgment of the Supreme Court was in the context of relevance of Sanskrit language. And it was a two-judge bench, but it was authored by one who lived here. It was authored by one who enriched himself and gained from the cultural richness of this land, of which presently Biswa Sarma is the Chief Minister. And that is Honorable Mr. Justice B.L. Hansaria. Thank you so much to the organizers for affording me this opportunity for two reasons. One needs to be exposed to the enlightened reflections of such an organization. And secondly, for generating a lifelong connect with Lokmanthan. Thank you so much.
महोदय, आपकी उपस्थिति और ज्ञानवर्धक शब्दों के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार. I now request Working President Lokmanthan 2022 Dr. Gargi Hoikya Mohanta Mohodaya to kindly present the vote of thanks.
Gunagya Sujan, Namaskar. His Excellency, the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Dangoria, Honorable Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi Dangoria, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Dangoria, and respected Shri J. Nandakumar Dangoria, and our Gunagya brothers and sisters present here today. We express our deep sense of gratitude and regards to Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Ji, for his kind presence. We shall remain ever grateful for your blessings and guidance. Lokmanthan 2022 has been enriched by your presence. We convey our thankfulness to Honorable Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi Ji, for his gracious presence. You are always with us whenever we request you for your guidance. Thank you, sir. Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa is our guide and philosopher. The making of Lokmanthan 2022 in this magnitude is possible only because of him. We do not want to quantify your contribution, sir, but it is a truism that without your support, guidance, and direction, the event would not have been possible. We are grateful to the entire team of Pravah for their overall guidance and help, headed by Shri Nandakumar Dangoria. We express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all the officers of Assam Tourism Development Corporation, the Society of Srimanta Kalakshetra, the team of Intellectual Forum for North East, and Lokmanthan 22 for their untiring efforts. We sincerely thank all the delegates coming here from various parts of India. I crave for your indulgence. I crave for your indulgence of your forgiveness, as there could be hiccups in various parameters in spite of our best efforts. Kindly forgive us for all our shortcomings. Amara grihoko lagi aila jodurai, povitra korila toju poda dhulai, meaning your presence has made this place holier. Joy Bharati. Dhanyavad.
धन्यवाद। लोकमंथन के सभी प्रतिभागी, डेलीगेट, विशेष निमंत्रित तथा भक्त महोदय वर्ग से विनम्र निवेदन है कि तुरंत इस कार्यक्रम के बाद कीनोट एड्रेस के लिए श्रीमंता शंकरदेव इंटरनेशनल ऑडिटोरियम में एकत्रित हो। देवी और सज्जनों, अब हम राष्ट्र गान के साथ इस भव्य सभा का समापन करेंगे। आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन टू काइंडली राइज फॉर द नेशनल एंथम।
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।
धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।